So the Game Awards took place a few nights ago. A bunch of stuff happened and several games were announced or shown off. You know how the Game Awards work. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about every announcement, but here are some random thoughts I had while watching the whole thing. I'm going to get the weird stuff out of the way first, so let's start with... I'm not exactly sure what they're doing with this game. It looks like a Bollywood ripoff of Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, but if Ramona just went around beating up all of her exes instead of Scott trying to win her over. It just seems crazy how much this game rips off from Scott Pilgrim. It might be good, but I can already tell it's not my type of game. Moving on.
Look how they massacred my boy.
What do they do to his face? I know Gollum was never much of a looker, but seriously, what the fuck is this? And who asked for this? Certainly not me, and I can almost guarantee that most Lord of the Rings fans are scratching their heads too. I don't think Volition really knows where they're going or what they're doing with this franchise anymore. They went from the crazy and weird saga of games where you rise to the top of a criminal empire, become the president of the United States, and then suddenly an alien race invades the planet, forcing humans to live in a Matrix-like simulation, to this. A game where you play as a bunch of Gen Zers trying to rule a small town in New Mexico. I don't know. I was never a fan of the original games, but they always looked pretty interesting. This one just looks kind of bland, and I probably won't play it. It's Among Us, but in VR. Wait, people are still playing Destiny 2? With Zelda Breath of the Wild being the huge critical and financial success that it was, everybody and their grandmothers are going to hop on the bandwagon. Sega, never liking to be one-upped by Nintendo, copied their gameplay style and shoved Sonic the Hedgehog into it. That's right, a truly open-world Sonic game. Will it be any good? Who knows? We'll see when it comes out. I'm not really sure how I feel about this game. On one hand, I like the idea of being able to play as all the different characters with wildly varied powers. But on the other hand, it just doesn't look all that interesting in motion. A Brainiac-controlled Justice League is a pretty cool concept, if not a completely original one. The Suicide Squad have faced off against the Justice League a few times in the comics, so it'll be cool to see Rocksteady's take on it at least. Another completely out there idea, and something I'm sure nobody asked for, Dune is getting a game based on it. You know Dune, the groundbreaking sci-fi masterpiece that influenced so many movies such as Star Wars, Star Trek, and even Blade Runner. The book that was so revered by fans that there has been not one, but two movies based on it with another on the way. Yeah, that one. Turns out they're turning it into a Civilization-type strategy game. Cool, I guess. We'll have to wait and see. I never got around to playing the first game, but apparently enough people liked it to justify making a sequel. It looks like the gameplay is going to open up a little bit and give the players more ways to interact with the world. Keanu Reeves, better known as Internet Jesus, is back again with another enthusiastically breathtaking appearance, while Carrie-Anne Moss completely phones it in while visually dying inside as she delivers her lines with the same emotional range as a cucumber, or a wet piece of bread.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
They showed off a short clip of the upcoming Matrix movie and talked a bit about the Matrix Awakens Unreal 5 tech demo, but that's about it. You can play this one for free right now, so that's cool. Okay, let's get to the good stuff now, starting with a Star Wars game developed by Quantic Dream, the studio behind games like Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, and Detroit Become Human. Whatever your opinion of these games, and the choose-your-own-adventure game genre in general, I think we can all agree it'll be pretty interesting to see what kind of crazy shit David Cage will do with the Star Wars lore. It'll probably be a while before we see anything new about this game, as it seems like it's pretty early in development, but from the trailer, it looks like we could experience a darker side of the Star Wars universe. Hellblade 2 simultaneously looks super fucking creepy and very compelling. The first game was such a surprise for me when I played it originally, blending Norse mythology with the story of a woman struggling with mental illness. From the gameplay we saw, we can tell that this game is going to be another wild ride as we once again enter the unwell mind of the titular hero herself to slay our way through whatever Norse horrors Ninja Theory can throw at us. Dying Light 2 came out with a pretty heartbreaking trailer that was really interesting. Everything I've seen and heard about this game gets me more and more excited for its release. The promise of how every choice you make in the game can drastically shape and change the world is a big one. Dying Light 2 is set to release on February 4th, 2022. Let's hope it doesn't get delayed again. Jeff Keighley walked out on stage with a big thing of pot to show off the new trailer for Elden Ring, and just like with all From Software games, it looks really cool and interesting, but I will never play it because I am a complete scrub and I don't handle failure very well. So to save myself from hours of stress and anger and from having to buy a new controller, I'm going to sit this one out. More Warhammer 40k is always a plus in my book, and the fact that it's a sequel to one of the best games in the entire franchise has me incredibly excited to get my hands on this game. Fighting hordes of killer aliens with a chainsaw sword and guns that fire explosive-tipped bullets? Sign me up. We don't have a lot of details about what the new Halo show will be about, but from what they've shown so far, it looks like it's headed in a good direction, and it seems like it could be a show worth watching. Interest in the Halo franchise is at a peak right now after the release of Halo Infinite, which I hope to have a review out for in a while, but this one could be really good. They showed off a quick flash of some of the new gameplay mechanics in the next Horizon game, and it's pretty safe to say that it's going to up the ante in a big way. The first game was so memorable, and it looks like they're building upon it to make something even better. Guerrilla knows what they're doing with this game. Horizon Forbidden West isn't that far away, so we won't have to wait long to get our hands on it. Wonder Woman is finally getting her own game, and as one of DC Comics' top superheroes, Wonder Woman has been growing in popularity since she appeared in Batman v Superman, and I think we can all agree it's about time. We didn't get much more than a glimpse of what Wonder Woman will look like in the game, but I can only assume that it will be heavily inspired by Gal Gadot's version of the character, as that is the most recent iteration, and most people seem to like that version of Wonder Woman. Next we have undoubtedly the best thing to come out of the Game Awards this year. Alan Wake 2 is a game that a lot of people, including myself, have been asking for a very, very long time. Over a decade, in fact. And Remedy have been teasing us with it for a while now, with an Alan Wake-focused DLC in their other game, Control, and a remaster of the original Alan Wake. When I watched the trailer live, I apparently made a sound so inhuman that my roommate had to check on me to make sure I wasn't having a stroke. Alan Wake is my all-time favorite game, and I cannot wait to see what Sam Lake and the folks at Remedy Entertainment have in store for us in the next chapter of Alan Wake's story. If you haven't played Alan Wake, please do yourself a favor and pick it up. Also, a guy named Neil Cuckman, or something like that, came out at the end of the show and announced the Game of the Year. Not sure who this guy is, but he looks like the kind of guy who'd make a really great game with incredible and interesting characters and then follow it up with something that completely divides the fan base. Then, he'd be a snarky little prick that dismisses any valid criticism about the said game and label anybody who didn't sing his praises to the heavens as haters and homophobes. And then, he'd have YouTube videos that he didn't agree with struck down through a shell company. Great guy. Anyway, the voice actor that played Lady Dimitrescu won Best Voice Actor, and all I know is that I want her to sit on my face. I mean, I absolutely respect her, and she totally deserved the Game Award. Yeah, that's what I meant. There were a few games that they didn't present that I was hoping to see more of. Games like Stalker 2, the Dead Space remake, the Callisto Protocol, God of War Ragnarok, Starfield, and the new IO Interactive James Bond game. I know that most of these games will probably be shown off at game conferences next year, but I was hoping to at least see some new gameplay from Stalker before it releases in April. Well, there you have it. All the things that I thought were worth looking into from the Game Awards. All in all, I thought they put on a pretty good show this year. But what about you? What did you think of the Game Awards? What was your favorite game that they showed off? Was there a game you wanted to see that didn't appear? Leave a comment below and let me know. Thanks for everything, and until next time.